Sure. Well, first I'll kind of tell you a little bit of just a little bit about backstory. I'm an anime fan, and I got into this business. Well, I didn't get into it after seeing this, but what inspired me to be a voiceover actor was Sailor Moon. So, meeting Vince last night, I had to
Fangirl.
Yes, I had to keep the fangirl at bay. I think I did pretty cool. I was like, what's up? And then afterwards, I was like tweeting to my friends, oh my gosh, he's here, he's so cute! Childhood dreams. I'm not going to tell them that part though. But yeah, so what was the question? There was no question.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Cristina. I'm a voiceover actor. I live in LA. I've been an LA girl all my life. I don't know, how deep are we getting? I'm Mexican American. No, not that kind of question.
No. What I mean is like some of the projects you've worked on, some highlights of your resume.
Let's see. Anime-wise, my first roles were in Rosen Maiden and Lyrical Nanoha and Familiar of Zero. Recently, I was in Tekken Blood Vengeance as Alyssa Voskanovich and Mio Akiyama in K-On! And Homura Akemi in Madoka Magica, to name a few. Oh, and last week I went to New York to record on Pokemon.
Yeah!
That was another childhood dream come true. When I was in 6th grade, I was an awkward little kid. My friend in 6th grade was my Pocket Pikachu. You know, the Pikachu. So, that was... What was the question?
Some of the projects you worked on.
Oh yes, Pokemon. I also had the pleasure, video game-wise, did I talk about video games yet?
Just a little bit, Tekken and...
Oh yeah, I directed and cast and recorded Cerebella for Skullgirls.
Wow.
I'm in Blaze Blue. No more Skullgirls fans? Have you guys played it? Who hasn't played it? Oh, okay, yeah, you guys play it.
Wait, who has it? Who hasn't?
Who hasn't played Skullgirls?
Hasn't?
Okay, that's not bad. You guys should play it. It's really cool. It's an American fighter, and the girls are hot, and it's true. And it's an all-girl cast, and it has pretty cool backstory. And it was like a love passion project. That sounds kind of strange. A labor of love. That's what I was trying to say. Not a love passion project. It was a labor of love for these guys who wanted to make a video game, and they did, and it came out really awesome. So, yes, Blaze Blue, I said that already. Dynasty Warriors, Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Yeah!
I was in like a lot of the NIS games, like Atelier Totori, Sakura Wars.
Oh.
That one game, Artanelco Koga. Woo! And, cool stuff. Cool stuff.
The next question I had is, you mentioned that you directed and wrote a character in Skullgirls. Can you tell us a little bit about what the writing and the directing process is like in the video game industry?
I didn't write the dialogue for Cerebella, but I did direct.
Okay. Well, what's the difference between the writing and the directing in terms of the voice acting?
Writing and directing have nothing to do with voice acting, except for directing. But the writing would be the person who sits down with the creator and decides what the character is going to say in the game. And what I do as a director is, we have the script already.
Okay.
And I'm directing the actor, basically giving them the backstory and kind of the lowdown on what's going on in the scene so they know how to perform the line that they're given.
All right. Without playing the game beforehand, how do you have an idea of how to direct that? When, like in a movie, you kind of see a vision of how it's going to look. Like when you're in theater, you can play around with it in rehearsal. How is that different? That process different than when you're in a recording studio?
Well, when we were recording it, they didn't yet have everything animated, but we did have certain moves animated, and they knew the story of what was going to go on. And when we're recording, we have for the first few sessions, we had the creator, like 2 of them, and oh goodness, the audio director as well. So they were there to help me and kind of refine the performance, and we also had meetings before. They knew exactly how they wanted it to be, and they were very specific about it. So they let me know how they wanted the character, what the character is about, and how they wanted them to sound. And also the moves, how fast they had to be, like the timing of them. So they really helped to refine the performances.
Okay, and what is the process like when you're in the voice studio for an action fighting game, as opposed to a game like League of Legends, where it has a certain amount of time? How is it different based on the way the recording process?
For League of Legends, actually, it was. Oh yeah, I'm in League of Legends.
Yeah.
For League of Legends and Skullgirls, it's pretty similar because they are kind of it's called prelay, where we don't have to match to video or anything. Well, for Riven, there was a couple that we had the video for, but it's really, I guess it's called, when you're recording wild, is you're not restricted to the video like you are with anime or certain cinematics in video games. So they were very similar, except I wasn't directing League of Legends. I had very little, I didn't know how the character was going to turn out.
I have to ask you, what character did you do in League of Legends?
I did Riven.
Riven?
Riven. Yeah. OP.
Now, I have to say this as a League of Legends player. I'm not a big fan of Riven because I've lose to her majority of the time. I play a tanky character, so if you know anything about the game, I have a little bit of a hard time pushing lane against her, but I respect the character. I respect the character. I have to say that. Sorry.
I don't play Riven either. She's awesome. I know that she's OP and there's always a Riven and an Ari on like the opposing team. I play Lux. I love her new art, by the way. Have you seen it?
Yes.
By the way, that art looks exactly like her voiceover actor now. I don't think that, like, I don't want to, because I know Carrie, but she's not really as into this stuff as I am. Because I hosted IPL4 for IGN for the League of Legends tournament. So I really got really big into the community and really learning like how, the teams and the players and how to really play the game. And she doesn't, but if you look at that image, that's how the voiceover actor looks. She is adorable.
Well, you mentioned you worked with IPL4. What is the process like working for something like that, or like MLG, or something like that? Because I know that doing conventions like this is a lot different than like going to like an MLG event or an IPL. I'm sorry, IPL4 or something like that. So how is it different in terms of what you do?
I kind of made the mistake of going into IPL, treating it like another convention, where I was like, oh, I've done this a million times. But I get there and I see the venue and the stage, and I didn't really realize that it was a huge deal, because there were 200,000 people watching during the finales. And, they had hair and makeup. I had to bring fancy dresses. And so the first day, it was like really going into it blind. I had no idea, and I didn't know the teams yet or anything like that, so I had to learn fast, because that first day I was like drowning. And the second day was fun. The second day, I guess I have a fast learning rate, because the second day was awesome. The memories. What was the question?
Just how is it different than something like a convention like Ruronikon?
It's different because hair and makeup, thousands of people watching. Well, that's kind of the same. Professional hair and makeup. Also, I was going to say I got pretty dressed up, but I get pretty dressed up for these too.
Speaking of dressing up, one of the people outside wanted to know, who are you wearing? I know that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yes. Who said that?
What? More like the cosmos.
Wait, did you say? What? Did you not actually know the name of the dress? This is the Galaxy dress from Black Milk Clothing. They're an Australian website, and they're really. I'm so mad because I have a Game Boy dress, and I got the Tetris leggings already, but I was waiting for like 2 years for the Game Boy dress to come back, and it came back, and I was like refreshing because they said exactly when it was going to restock, And I couldn't find the link at first, and within those 2 minutes I was looking for the link, it sold out, and thus my dreams were shattered.
Well, that's a bummer.
Did I answer the question? Yes.
Yeah, you did. And that was just because actually it was someone outside who had asked that, and I don't know whether she's in here or not, but she's working over at the the Rocky Horror table, over at the Rocky Horror table. Alrighty, sorry about that. Kind of got on a little bit of a tangent on that one. All right, so tell me a little bit about what it's like to work with, because you've done some anime work, right?
Yeah.
What is it like to work with anime, and how is it different than working with a video game?
Anime is like 10 times, no, 15, 30 times harder than it is to do video games because of the matching. In Japan, people don't really realize that it's such a different process. That's why it sounds very different. In Japan, it's partially animated, so you see the characters, but you're not matching the lip flaps, and you're with everybody. But because we're dubbing it and we have to match those flaps, we're alone. It takes extreme precision, and also people have this expectation that they want the original voice actor, but in English, and no two voices are exactly the same. So there's kind of like that added pressure to try to do justice to the character. But at the end, it's the most rewarding. Especially with Madoka, we spent hours upon hours doing every single line. We did like 15, 20 takes, and usually it's like 2 to 3 takes, but we did 15 to 20 takes on each line for Madoka. And I think that it really shows, and it's really awesome to see.
Now, let me ask you, what has been your favorite project to work on so far?
I liked, oh goodness, I think K-On! Was pretty fun because they let us do, yeah, they let us they dressed us up as our characters, the voice actors, and they sent us out to, this was like in 2011, like latter 2010, 2011. We did concerts, and we got to sing the songs in Japanese and perform as our characters, and that never happens. So I was really lucky to do that. And Tekken as well, Tekken Blood Vengeance it was shown in movie theaters. And after my last session, they told me I was going to get fitted for an Alyssa cosplay. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was really fun. Yay!
Alrighty, since you said that you've done some voiceover work, what has been the funnest voiceover, just in terms of the voiceover work? Like, what has been the funnest, and also what has been the hardest character you've ever had to do? And is working with a different language, and like kind of getting it to translate? Because as you mentioned, some of the characters you've done were Japanese based. Is it harder to do characters like that as opposed to like Riven? Do you see what I'm asking?
I really grew attached to Noelle Vermillion because I recorded for her 5 different games, I think, so far. Or even if some of them, like there are like 3 main ones, and then I had a couple pickup sessions for like DS and Vita something versions. So I really like playing Noelle because it's so easy to find the character. Now that it's been established, there's not any, oh my gosh, are they going to recast me nerves? Because that happens. And so you know, like the character's yours, and you know her, so you get to play around with it. And the hardest project I've ever done was Madoka. There was extreme pressure to get everything 100% right for that show, because it's such a loved show.
All right, and what about like working with characters that like were Japanese, and you're trying to like translate them over to an American audience? What is the difficulty in that? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, luckily there's the audition process where people don't really realize that we're being chosen by not only by the people who are directing us, but also the Japanese producers. They're the ones that choose the voice. So that takes a lot of the pressure off. When you're cast, you know that you were the best person for the part. So, but yeah, it really is trying to sound like that character, but still acting is the most difficult part about that.
Okay.
Now let me ask you, how did you get involved with doing voice acting for both anime and for video games?
So I used to do, I'm going to be honest, I started off as a fan dubber online doing fan dubs. And because I was doing fan dubs, I was really good at matching flaps and doing voices. So I went to Anime Expo, and Bang Zoom Entertainment had a panel where they wanted people to go up and try the equipment. So they chose me to go up, and I did it, and I nailed it, and they were like, what? How did you know how to do that? How do you know? Because a lot of people, like actors who are coming into it, not as fans, don't know how to do the and the that kind of thing. They don't. That's not in our. That's not in our language. That's not in our vocabulary. So they really like that, and I got to start auditioning for them, and I did grunt work for a few years because I was really young. I was like in my early teens. What happened was I started getting cast in anime, but then anime, like, that's when Jenny went away.